dolls. Okay, so I've been getting a ton of questions about my waves that I have been wearing lately. These ones I did a little bit smaller than the bigger full ones that I've been doing. My hair isn't finished yet. It doesn't have any volume on the top. It's just kind of all on the side. But I figured that while I was finishing up, I would just go ahead and show you guys kind of how I use this. This is just the Revlon waver. I've seen this at Walmart for around $25. I got mine from Ulta for $20. And I use mine on the 20 to 25 setting because there is a little setting knob on here where you can change the setting and everything. There is an on and off switch, and then this is really cool. So for storage, it's got this little clasp that you can kind of clasp it together so it doesn't go all crazy like that. But anyway, it just looks like this. And I'm just going to show you guys real quick how I do this. Basically, I do the same exact thing to my whole head, but I do have layers, and sometimes when I do the layers, they like flip out. So I'm going to show you what I do to them. What I do is I just take my hair, make sure it's brushed out, and I start on one end and I just go all the way around my head. I don't really like part it or anything. But I'll just take a chunk about like this. Like I said, I'm doing smaller ones. I usually do fuller ones. The more crimped you want them, or the more like together you want them, you're going to hold it for longer, obviously. And you're probably going to take smaller or bigger chunks depending on how full you want the hair. I did mine a little bit smaller, so the hair's a little bit fuller. But if you wanted to, you would take bigger chunks and maybe not hold it as long if you just wanted nice, like really big waves. But anyway, you just take the chunk and then take your little crimper, and you want to start at the top. And I said crimper, but this acts just like a crimper. I mean, it's a waver, but it acts just like a crimper if you've never used one before. You can see how this piece right here kind of like flicks out. If you have layered hair, I'm going to show you how you can kind of fix it and play with it a little to make it so it's not as noticeable or as funky looking. So I'm just going to hold that for another minute. And the trick to waving or crimping is when you pull up to do the second one, you don't want to start like down here because you can see all that open space that's going to be flat. You want to start it where the other one was. So you can see it was right here. And when I come down, you want to put that other one right there. I don't know if you could really understand what I was saying, but you could see like it just kind of falls into place. And so the one that was at the bottom becomes the top. And then you just keep stamping it down the line. And like I said, I just go around my whole head and do this. So you can see how it's already starting to create the crinkle. That's what I like to call it, create the crinkle. And I'm just going to finish up this little strand and then do the rest of my hair. I'm going to do this strand on camera so you can kind of see the process a little bit. And then I'm just going to finish up the rest, and I'll come back and show you what I do for the pieces that are kind of a little bit shorter. So finishing this side up, and I do it all the way down to the bottom of the hair. Just like that. So there's the little wave that I have. Now if you wanted it to be a little bit looser, before it dries or before it gets cool, you just take your hand and just pull down, and that will loosen it up a little. So you can see it's already like loosened up and given it a little bit more volume. If you want it to be like more crinkled, or obviously you would just kind of like leave it there and let it sit. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my hair and I'll be back. Alright, so this is what the hair looks like right now, and you can see there's a few pieces like this. If your hair's like mine and you got some crazy layers going on, simple solution to this is to take the waver and go on the hair and then just kind of like curve it and then like pull down, and it'll kind of straighten it out. And you can see it's not as crazy. I'll go ahead and do an intentional one over here. Okay, say I messed up and I got this weird floopy thing. You could just take the waver, start at the top, and just kind of like turn it and then pull down slowly, and it'll start getting rid of it. You can see it's still a little floopy, so I gotta just pull a little bit slower, and it'll act kind of as a straightener. So as you can see, it kind of went down a little bit. Sometimes they're persnickety and you got to play with them a little bit. Mine are usually picky. Sometimes they work really great. Sometimes they're just a little bit picky. But you can also, if you wanted to, totally skip this and just use a regular straightener or even a curling iron. You could just turn it on, heat it up, and then just kind of like curl it back the opposite way it was. But that is pretty much how I do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some volume on the top. So I'm going to foof this out is what I'm going to do. I got a brush and some hairspray. And what I'm going to do is first just gently brush through the top of this so I can get all my hair in line here. And you want to avoid brushing this out if you don't want volume. If you want volume, feel free to keep brushing this as much as you want. But the more that you brush it, I'll just show you real quick. The more you brush it, the more, so you can see how full this side is compared to this side, whereas this side is more tame. If you find that you brush a little bit too much, just take some hairspray, spray it on your hand, and then run it through. And it'll just tone it down and tame it down quite a bit. So that's what I like to do, even when I feel that my curls or my waves or whatever it is are a little bit too tight. Sometimes I'll just take a little bit of hairspray, spray it on my hand, and then pull it down like this, and then it'll loosen them up a little. You can also just spray it directly on the hair and then run your hand through. But I like to spray it on my hand because then I know exactly where I'm putting the product. So there is that. Now we're going to add some crazy volume up top. So what I'm going to do is just take a basic brush. You can also take a teasing comb or whatever. I have really short layers, so I find that the brush works just fine for me. Starting at my bangs, I'm going to tease my hair. And what we're going to do is make a huge, 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 super messy rat's nest. So I'm going to do this all over my head. And if your hair is all one length, you're going to find that your hair doesn't tease up like this at all or easily. So I only know how to really do this for layers. I've tried this before with just a solid one length haircut and it doesn't work for me as well. However, I know a lot of people that it does work for. So it might work for you. It may not work for you. All you can do is experiment. That's the fun of this, is experiment and see if it works. If it doesn't, just leave it with the waves and call it good. But anyway, so I'm just teasing everything up. Tease the sides just a skosh. And then once it's teased, I'm going to go in with my hairspray and hairspray my whole head from like my ear height up. So, and I'm just using the Aquanet. This is the fresh scent one. I use the regular one as well. I just think the fresh scent one smells better than the unscented, which is weird because the unscented isn't even supposed to be scented. But once that is fully dry, foof it up just a little bit more. And then, or once it's fully covered, go ahead and foof it up a little bit more. And as weird as this is, you're going to sit with this on your head like this. This is not the finished product. Don't worry. We're not going out like a lion. We're going to sit here and we're going to wait until the hairspray completely dries. And once the hairspray is stiff or solid, then I'm going to come back and show you what the next step is.
Right, so once we got our dry hair, and I know in this video it looks like my arms are two different colors. It's just the lighting. The lighting is making me all look weird because my window's up over here, but like the dark is over here reflecting off my pink wall, so this arm looks darker. That's so weird. If I put them like, see, if I put them out like that, they both kind of start looking, I don't know, that's weird. Okay, moving on.
Anyway, so once it is all fully dry, you are just going to gently go through and brush down. Don't like do it all crazy because then you're going to lose your volume. But as you can see, we're getting some volume and we're just smoothing it down pretty much. So taking a little bit and smoothing a little bit at a time. I like to do my bangs last. So I like to do one side and then the back and then follow on to the other side. And just trying to keep it less frizzy, less crazy.
And getting that all down like so. You can see how it's starting to look. And then I'm going to kind of play with it just a little bit with my fingers. Pull this down. Okay.
And then I'm going to work on my bangs. I'm just going to smooth these down a little bit. And yes, my roots are absolutely horrible. I need to get them done again. My roots grow out so fast, you guys. It's crazy. Like, a week after touching up my roots, and poof, I gotta redo them again. So just ignore those. If you have to touch up and do a little bit more teasing here and there, feel free to do so, because that's what I always do. So just like that, and then I'm going to pull my bangs down just a little bit, and then I'm going to hairspray, and then take my hand and kind of sculpt it. I have a video on sculpted bangs from when I was blonde that you can go see in my hair tutorials playlist, but I'm just going in now and kind of setting it and then smoothing with my hand. Careful not to smooth it too much or I'll get rid of all that volume that I just created. And then I'm just continuing it on down the rest of my hair. That is pretty much what I do. And then what I've been doing a lot lately, I know you guys have been asking questions about this too, or saying that you guys love seeing my face and my hair out of my face. I know my mom compliments me on that all the time, having my hair out of my face so she can see my eyes. But anyway, what I like to do is pull my bangs to the side and then take a little bit of hair from underneath of the bangs like this, bring it over, take a bobby pin, and then secure that down. And that's kind of pretty much how I've been wearing my hair lately. So yeah, that's about it. I hope all you guys' questions were answered. And if you wanted to be even cuter with this or wanted to do something different, you could take these two side pieces and put a clip back here and kind of just wear it like that. I've been wanting to do that. Also, the waves look super cute with like little pigtails on the sides like this. I don't know. I've just been wanting to experiment a little bit with this waver, and I got a lot of questions and a lot of requests to make a video about it. It does heat up super fast, and one thing I love about this waver is these waves will stay in for a few days. Even like sleeping on one side of my head, I still found that there was a lot of waves and just everything like that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, like it up, and maybe I can do more hair tutorials like something like this, or, you know, just comment below, let me know, and I will talk to you all in my next video. So until then, so long, stay strong, stay true, and be you. Okay, bye! Oh gosh, I just hit my desk. Hair flip.